being single is kind of something that I'm all too familiar with. And it's just crossed my mind recently that I don't really want to be single forever. Like, imagine being 80 years old and being single. Like, it's not what I want to be. So I was really thinking over the last few years, and like since 2020, I've been in one relationship, and that relationship lasted 4 months. Now, that kind of displays my lack of experience in the dating scene, which ultimately, like, it isn't great to be like 21 and only have had one 4 months long relationship at this point. Like, I feel like that's an area in my life that I'm very much lagging behind in. Like, I don't want to be single forever, because one day I want to have kids, and one day I'd like to get married, and obviously you want it all to be to the right person. But sometimes it feels like even finding, I guess, anyone is impossible, because I guess when you look at the modern day and the way it is, like online dating, it seems to be surging, as I mentioned before, about how online dating, people are meeting more online and less people are meeting in person, or as an organic way to meet. So there's less places to go to, I guess, find a girlfriend or find someone to be with. So ultimately, it's like, where do you go? You go to the apps. And again, when you're on the apps, there's not a lot of choice for you. And it's like, I don't want to be single either forever, because you see people in relationships, and I know it's not all rosy and all things nice, but overall I feel like, it is very fulfilling and something that's, I guess, an important part of life, to build relationships and foster them and grow them. And like, just the thought of being single forever, I feel like there'd be a lot of development that I have stunted from not having that experience, and I guess having to figure it out while I'm a bit older. Like, my last relationship I was in was 1.5 years ago, almost 2 years ago. So I mentioned that only lasted 4 months. And like, while I was in it, it felt, this was never going to end. Like, it felt great, and then it ended. And then the time goes by so quick, and next thing you know, you're single again. And it's like, I haven't even had a prospect of finding another girlfriend in that period of time. Like, I've been on a few dates here and there, and I'd say most of them went well, but I haven't really made any strides to making myself not single from them. I guess, like, being single isn't all bad. Like, you don't have to, I guess, face some of the emotional lows of being in a relationship, but at the same time, you see people who you're following, who you know from school or whatever it may be, and like, I see them, and they've girlfriends, and I'm just thinking, like, what am I doing wrong? I feel like I'm a nice guy and I'm kind and all that, and I just feel like, nothing's happening, especially to get into a relationship. It's quite difficult to find one, and you don't want to be single for good, because, like, who does? Like, everyone wants love, everyone wants affection, everyone wants someone that they can share something with and build something together with. And I feel like I'm lacking out on that a lot, especially because I haven't really had, since I broke up with my last girlfriend, I haven't really had any, I guess, chance of finding another girlfriend. And it's just like, this is one of the things that's kind of difficult to change. It's not always in your control. You can go on countless dates and nothing can progress to the point where you can find a girlfriend. Also, I think, like, the thought of, like, being alone, especially when you're like 80 and you don't have any family or people to be surround you when you don't have as long left, it's kind of one of them things that is scary. Again, if you're like me and you have most of your friends having girlfriends, I guess it kind of makes you crave having a relationship more, and like, obviously seeing what your friends are doing and all the, I guess, nice things that they get to do together with the girlfriend and all, it kind of upsets you, because you basically still can't, I guess, get towards a relationship. Like, I know I'm young and all that, but it's just one of them things where it's something that I was thinking about recently, because nobody wants to be old and not have a partner or a wife or whatever it may be that you want. Some people might, but like, most people still want some kind of companion. And yeah, it's just something that I feel like I'm missing out on, and I'm afraid that, like, sometimes it feels like it's not in my control to whether I can move towards getting into a relationship. But yeah, hopefully, I suppose you can relate to my thoughts on the possibility of being single forever. Like, that you mightn't have kids, or you mightn't have a wife, or you mightn't get married, or have a wedding, or whatever it may be. So there are definitely a lot of landmarks and nice things that you can miss out on from being single for good or forever. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that, and I'm out. Peace.